can't feel my face. Coffee spilling all over the place. Forgot the sticks, we're turning around. Another weekend in some hockey town. With a pucked up parents, frozen toes, big hearts, bad luck. With a pucked up parents, one more tourney, one more puck. We're broke, we're loud, we love this grind. Cause our kid just scored and we lost our minds.
All right, you're digging the song. Let's hear it. That's Pucked Up Parents. Thank God for AI. I couldn't write stuff like that. Welcome to episode 1. Angela, I'll let you take it away to give introductions of who we are and why we started this podcast.
Yeah. So, welcome to the Pucked Up Parents podcast. I had the idea for this podcast while sitting around waiting on a game to start at a rink. Decided that we should do a podcast for first generation hockey parents who didn't grow up in a rink, but somehow ended up freezing their butts off in one every weekend. So, our plan is to take a lighthearted, often sarcastic, but always fun look at life as a hockey parent. If this is your first season or you're a lifelong rink rat, listen along as we discuss real life as hockey parents. So, my goals for this podcast are that we talk about the real life challenges, questions, wins, and losses as a hockey parent, not as a player, not as a team, not as a coach. We won't be discussing game strategies or practice drills or anything, any math behind my hockey ratings. But we are going to give you some practical tips to manage life as a hockey parent that we've learned along the way, while sharing some relatable stories. We've been in this hockey parent game for what, about 12 years now?
12 years we've been
Um,
into it. It's we kind of fell stupidly into it. I don't know if you're getting to the introductions yet, but I have
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and do the introduction. So I'm Angela Mauser. I'm a former athlete, but now hockey mom. This my husband Michael. He's doing the podcast with me. We have a 17-year-old hockey player and an 11-year-old hockey player. Fell into this
Why are we not talking about my
about 12
athletic
years
prowess?
ago. Oh, yeah, I forgot about
I
that.
have no athletic prowess. I suck at sports. I'm terrible at sports. I can't even skate. So this is a interesting sport for me to get into because A, I can't skate. B, I hate the cold. I'm so chilled all the time. And C, I don't like to spend money. And this is the worst sport for all three of those things.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's a little bit about us, but we can get into some of the ideas and thoughts that we have to share with everybody. My first thought, and kind of to tell some stories about how we got into this, is what the puck am I doing? So the rules and rituals of hockey that neither of us knew anything about when we got into this gig as hockey parents. So
Yeah.
we
So
had to learn everything from
real
scratch.
problem you and I had a real problem with this, and I remember it explicitly because our oldest son, and you'll get familiar with his name is Sam. He started when he was 5 years old. Yeah, it was 5 years
Yeah, I
old.
think it was about 5, yeah.
Our second child was being born, and um, we'll get to the full stories maybe later on in the podcast of how he got into hockey, which drove us down this road. But I remember buying, and if you're on the video, you can see it. Buying this book, I actually found this in the garage last week. It's a hockey for dummies book. This my exposure to hockey when he started was Mighty Ducks and a couple of games I went to in Louisville that we used to drink beer at in college. That was it. That was hockey to me. Didn't know any of the rules. I don't think you knew many of the rules, did you?
No, didn't know any of the rules, didn't really understand anything, and, as he progressed through the from learn to skate to learn to play, and then he was asked to play on the first Might team, the coach had emailed us and said, "Hey, he's made the blue team," or whatever it was, and we were like, "Oh, great," and then it all of a sudden yeah, and then it all of a sudden hit me that we had rental equipment through Learn to Play, and that, oh, yeah, we've gotta buy equipment, and I have no idea what to buy, where to buy it, what to look for, anything. So I remember emailing the coach back and just saying, "Hey, can you send me a list of what to buy and maybe give me a direction as to where to go?" And I think that's how that, Hockey for Dummies book came came into our house,
And
is because we needed some help.
And to add to that, we were at a huge disadvantage at the rink we were at, and we're in Kentucky, not exactly a sport or a hockey, mecca like, Minnesota or anywhere or Canada, for crying out
The
loud.
the term is non-traditional hockey
Okay,
market.
see, that's my naivety. I didn't know non-traditional hockey. It's Kentucky, okay? We do urban and play I think they play football and basketball. Again, not a sports guy. But my point is that even though we were in Kentucky, that we would go to the rink and all the parents around us, the Mite pa the young parents, the Mite parents, they all had backgrounds. They were all like Boston Bruins fans. They, played for the NHL. I think Sam's first coach was from Canada, which me profiling was like, "Oh, he's from Canada. He's gotta know hockey." But we were thrust into this and knew nothing, and to your point, we had rental equipment. I remember it was a USA jersey. The first time Sam got on skates, I didn't put socks on his knee on his pad on his shin pads.
Yeah, we didn't know that that was a thing.
Yeah, and it helps him get out when he kept falling down, he couldn't get up, and he kept slipping. I didn't know you were supposed to put socks on.
Yeah, because the shin pads are hard plastic on ice. He was just sliding around like a baby deer on a frozen pond.
So anyway, so let's get into the equipment, top to bottom, and again, we're talking. I mean, again, I don't think they add equipment as they get older. So the basic equipment for hockey, what do you got?
Yeah, so obviously you start with skates. You gotta have hockey skates, and there is a difference between hockey skates and figure skates.
Oh, I
And
learned
the
that pretty
other,
quick.
yeah, and the other thing that we learned really quickly is skates need to be sharpened. Um,
Well, two quick stories behind that. Number one, Sam had started playing hockey, and I took him to it was like a skate night or something, and they only had a few like rental hockey skates that he could get that were his size, and unfortunately that time they were not available. So we had to get the rentals that were just the general skate.
the figure skates with the toe pick on it,
Toe
the
pick,
little
and
thing on the end. Yeah.
furious with me. I'm like, I didn't know the difference. I didn't know what the big deal was. The second is, to your point, the sharpening of the skates. The coach pulls me aside like 2 or 3 weeks into his hockey training and says, "When's the last time you sharpened his skates?" And my reply was, "You have to sharpen them." I didn't know, no clue. So, yes, sharp skates every
Yeah.
how so often do we do it?
I think now with the old, especially with the older one, I think he probably does it once a week, once every other week, something like that. And I
More
think
frequent.
that's the kind of the typical schedule, is every 8 to 10 times on the ice. Although that changes depending on the quality of the ice. Like when they do the outdoor rinks or whatever, and it's not as clean and zambonied or whatever, it tears up the skates more. So you got to sharpen them more often.
Oh, and add to
Uh,
that, there's also
which
a
was another thing we learned.
there's also the quality of how it is done. So those, like,
Yeah.
some machines that are just, like, absolute not good ass, leaving burrs, you'll learn that term, burrs, behind or a chip or something like that versus, like, again, I go back to Mighty Ducks, Mighty Ducks 2. Remember the old man was, like, sharpening them by hand? That's, like, the best quality sharpen you can get. I thought about teaching myself, never did.
Yeah, well, that was something you brought up, and I was like, yeah, if these hockey dads are not sharpening their own kids' skates, we sure as hell don't need to
We have a
sharpen our
nice
kids'
we have a nice
skate.
we have a nice detached garage. I was like, "Maybe I'll set up a little shop and be like Jan from Mighty Ducks 2 and earn, like, $4 on the side at night from sharpening these kids' skates," but yes,
Yeah, well, there's an art to it, and I don't think we are at the level of that art yet.
right.
Um, anyway, so, beyond the skates, which are obviously the most important and probably the most expensive piece of equipment,
Oh god.
um, but that's a whole nother story. We'll have to
Whole nother
do
story. We'll
a
get to
whole
that.
talk on skates and different qualities and cost and
Yeah,
whatnot.
let's put a pin in that.
Um,
Life cycle of a skate.
yeah. And well, and it's different too with the kids that are growing.
Uh,
So, our
we'll save that for later. There's
yeah, exactly, exactly. So anyway, so we got skates, you got shin pads, you've got your jock or Jill, as they call them for the girls, which is the your cup thing, which also has Velcro
alright,
straps on it.
let me stop you for a second. You said the jock or the
Yeah.
Jill. What's the Jill? I'm not fam I
That's the
honestly,
girl version that's the girl version of a cup.
what's in there? Is there
Nothing. I don't know that there I didn't play hockey, so I don't really know, but I
a flat piece of
think
plastic?
maybe? I don't know, but anyways, they're like the shorts that they put on that
I get it. It has a little Velcro.
yeah, that have the little Velcro things that hold the hockey socks, which we've already discussed are really important, that
Mhm.
hold the hockey socks up. And so that's kind of piece 2, and then you've got the hockey pants, which I've also learned are called breezers in some areas.
Oh, they have a name.
Um, yeah, well, that I think that's a regional term, I think.
Okay, and let's
Yeah.
just point out that in my opinion, the weakest hockey pants are the ones with the suspenders. Some kids opt to have suspenders with their hockey pants, and it
Yeah.
looks like they're like Amish or
But
hillbilly.
that goes underneath of everything, so you don't really see
Still looks
them.
stupid. Sorry.
All right. Well, anyway, so the hockey pants, breezers, whatever you want to call them, the padded pants that they wear, and then shoulder pads, which are, very much like the football player shoulder pads. They're very similar. Um, Elbow pads, helmet, mouth guard, gloves,
So with
stick.
with the helmet though, now, and I learned this too when the boys started playing hockey. It's a cage. It's not the glass. I always thought they call it the fishbowl, the glass.
Yeah, the fishbowl.
I don't wanna say professionals. I think college students wear the glass. I know.
Well, no, no, no. Well, so there's a different version. So you've got the fishbowl that the youth players wear that are like glass, and then it's got kind of the like cage plastic cage part
Right.
on the bottom.
Oh, and the other ones
But
have
then
a half. But
the half one they call it the shield.
so
That's a
our
shield.
kids have never worn any of the glass shields, and they say it's stupid and, looks
Well,
like
they don't like because it looks like a fishbowl,
uh,
but I think once they turn 18 and kinda out of college, if you're playing beer league or even if, the pros or whatever wear the half shield, I think that's, more acceptable in the hockey style or sty, as they like to call it.
alright, so we have the helmet, and then we have what else, did you mention the mouthpiece? Like,
Yeah, I said mouth guard that
optional,
they're supposed to wear.
and then the
Um
neck guard.
Oh, yeah, neck guard. The neck guard's a new thing.
That was
That's,
a huge deal a couple of years ago because of the death
yeah,
of the kid who got killed over in, Europe. He was a, minor league hockey player and took a
yeah,
blade to the neck, and
a
after that,
blade to the neck.
yeah, USA Hockey passed a rule after that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah, so it's required now. Yeah, you don't wanna watch those YouTube videos where somebody gets cut with a hockey skate. Ooh,
No, it's
those are
actually,
pretty bad.
Randy Gilmore, he was thrown out of the league for once trying to stab a guy. That's
Oh, yeah, with the
exactly.
skate. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
also, with this equipment, you pack other, to me, miscellaneous stuff. You have a repair kit, right?
yeah. Well, yeah, there's tons of other junk that goes in the bag. You've got all sorts of tape. We could do a
Tape.
whole episode on tape. Um, we could literally do a whole episode on tape. There's
Tape, the tape file, the clear
tape
tape, the
for the
color tape.
pads and colored tape for the stick and then grip tape and all kind we can do a whole episode on tape. So we can do that later. But, you
I'm
know,
sorry, that's gonna draw on the listeners. Let's do a whole episode on tape.
tape.
Today we're gonna talk about tape. Where are you at,
I
Scott?
mean, yeah, but I didn't know the difference between tape, what kinds of tape we needed for what. So, I mean, that was a learning curve too.
I know there for a minute Sam was using my electric tape out of the garage, that in my electric equipment, that black electrical tape for his
Yeah.
stick. I'm like, "What are you doing, man?" He's like, I'm out of black tape." I'm like, "Electrical
Yeah.
tape? Are you sure?"
Yeah, no, we shouldn't be doing that. But anyway, so that's kind of what, that was the initial what the heck are we doing? And so, as Michael mentioned earlier, we have our little local rink here. It's kind of run down and it's been around forever.
Shout out to
Um
the, Northern Kentucky Ice Center, Crescent
y-
Springs, Kentucky,
yeah,
great partner.
don't please don't read the Google reviews. They're kind of scary and
Alright, but let's be honest, it's ran by a great family. The
it
organization
is. The people there are fabulous. It's just an old building.
always smells clean and disinfectant-y, but it's just kinda
Yeah,
okay,
it's
I
just old.
turn your earphones down if you don't like this. It's very moist.
Yes. Damp, it's damp.
Yep, yes,
Yeah,
humid, steamy.
yeah, right. So, anyways, over the
Hang
years,
on, sorry, one more thing.
okay.
If it's 10 degrees outside, it's -10 inside that rink.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely the temperature is based on what it is outside.
Yeah.
But beyond our little local rink, we've had a lot of times traveling and a lot of good times going to a lot of different cities and what have you. So, one of the other things we want to talk about in this podcast is rinks and road trips. So we've kind of started out with, talking about our little local rink, but there are all kinds of rinks out there. Ours is more akin to an ice shanty than it is a nice rink, but we've been to
Being
some pretty
generous.
glamorous rinks over the years too, and everything in between.
Yeah, so
Um,
we've had the luxury of, our kids, are playing, and we'll talk about, like, single A and double A and triple A and and all the different levels, but we've had we were lucky that our kids were skilled enough that they got to play double A. I don't think they played triple A ever, or maybe they did in a few tournaments.
Tournaments here and
But
there.
it took us to out playing in Kentucky versus playing up north it's a different world, and once you get up north to, like, your Toledo, Ohio's, your Michigans, your Buffalo, New York, that's where the core of in my opinion, where the core of hockey is for our country at least, obviously Canada.
Well, in our region,
Right, so
for
we've had
sure.
a great plethora, a taste of the crappiest rinks, semi-outdoor
In all of those areas.
versus, amazing facilities that are owned by, like, NHL teams. So,
Right.
yes,
Well, that's where you have that hotbed of the cities that have the NHL teams like Columbus and Pittsburgh and
fans
Buffalo
love it
and
down LA.
Detroit.
Anaheim, remember the Anaheim rink was
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, and Chicago, we've been to the Blackhawks rinks a couple of times, their practice facilities and what have you, which are
So
just absolutely immaculate.
a lot of the, college and universities, they do the, tournaments and they have teams, so like Miami University, which has a amazing,
Yeah.
NCAA hockey team. You have Michigan, we played there, they have an amazing rink. I think you and Sam went to Notre Dame and played on their rink.
Yeah, we played at Notre Dame, we played at Michigan State, we've played at Michigan, we've played at Miami.
So,
Trying to remember some of the other colleges that we played. Ohio University, we played there. We played, you see the difference between, the NHL rink, which is, the kind of the Taj Mahal glamorous rink, all the way down to, some of the smaller colleges that have rinks, and then the community rinks, the ones that are run by the city or,
yeah, yeah.
the community itself. Those tend to be pretty nice too. And then you have all different levels of family run rinks as well. Like you mentioned, our little local rink is a family run rink. Fabulous people, but it's an expensive adventure.
So,
Not only for our kids that are playing hockey, but can you imagine the expense for running a rink?
I've heard stories. We had a mutual friend who looked into building a new rink and, he threw the plans in front of us and the cost and wow. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
with all the ice
Well,
and
and that's building it, but think about running it and the
yeah, running
compressors and all of the things that go into keeping the ice.
the fight like, well, our local rink fights the elements. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
very insulated, so if it's hot outside, the summertime, they shut down. If you have a rink that lasts year round, you're lucky. It's an amazing, amazing thing to have. I will point out, as whoever listens to this, if you're just getting started in hockey, that yes, you're gonna see every level of rink, and it's not a reflection of the teams within that rink. I mean, we've been to garbage rinks and the teams have been amazing. We've
Yeah.
been to amazing rinks and the teams have been trash. So the rinks are not reflective, but they all have their own personality,
Yeah.
and that's one of the wild things. And you're going to find yourself in towns that you didn't think had a rink. We were in West Virginia. I think it was like our first out of state trip was
Yeah, one of our first out of town trips was Charleston, West
ice
Virginia.
hockey in West Virginia. Okay, all right.
Yeah, but it's a really nice community, owned like,
Amazing.
city-owned rink.
Right, yeah, I agree, I agree.
Yeah, it's wild, but yeah, they all have one thing in common, though. Can you know what the one thing in every rink has one thing in common?
I mean, coming from me, annoying parents? I what?
No. No, 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 the smell.
Oh, the,
The
dank
the
Frito
s
smell.
the smell of hockey is a very unique and disgusting thing
Yeah,
that
you're
I
not
don't think I will ever get used to even though we're, what, 13 years into this.
yeah, you're not walking into Bed Bath& and Beyond or, a candle
No, what's the oth no, not Bed Bath& and
close
Beyond, the
now.
other one. The Bath& and Body
Bath&
Works.
and Body Works, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, the smell
Yeah,
was awful, and
a
and
and
luckily, as
and
parents,
there's
each time you
nothing to cover the smell.
well, and that's the thing, the bonus is you get to take that smell home with you every day.
Yeah. And I've tried everything from keeping Febreze and Lysol in my car to all sorts of air fresheners and
Yeah,
washing the equipment, you
that's a
name
later
it, we've
podcast.
tried it all. Oh,
To
yeah.
peak equipment, I mean, I'll give you a preview right now. Angela had an SUV for, all of our marriage. I mean, we've been married 20, almost 22 years. She's had this
Yeah.
and finally last year, she's like, "I'm done with this hockey equipment being in the same vicinity of me." She bought a pickup truck. So,
Yeah. Keep the smell separate.
with
It's
the
in a
hockey
separate
equipment.
compartment.
What else you got?
Yeah. Well, I mean, kind of to start wrapping things up and just kind of, we've been doing a lot of reflecting lately. Our oldest is a senior in high school, and
Yeah.
we're trying to figure out next steps for him, not only for school and life, but hockey as well. So we also want to take some time in each of our podcasts to reflect on, how we ended up here, some of the friends that we've made, the teammates, the competition, all kinds of things and memories that we've made over the last decade plus. We didn't sign up for this, but I'm kind of glad we did because it's been fun. We've met some amazing people. Our kids have learned a lot. Have been to some amazing places as we've alluded to, and
I
gotten to
I
really
don't wanna
experience a lot.
I don't wanna disparage other sports, but, Sam and both Sam and Henry is our youngest, both of them tried baseball, and I like Major League Baseball, don't get me wrong. Baseball bores me to tears to the point where I was reading books at his baseball games. We tried soccer. It didn't hold their attention. Even my mom, who is not sports, doesn't watch any sports at all, is floored by how exciting and how fast paced and how much fun it is to watch live hockey. So yes, we stumbled in the sport, but I wouldn't trade it for the world right now. It's
Yeah, and
incredible.
I think it's you mentioned that it's exciting. It's exciting at all levels, even the
Yeah,
little ones who are just learning to
cute when they're
skate.
falling down.
It's so adorable how cute they are out there and, like, the equipment weighs more than they do, but they're out there just, like, scooting around on the skates and they fall down and pop right back up, and, so, that makes it fun, at that age, and then getting to watch them learn and progress through the years, is great, and then you get into the teenagers who are playing, at a really fast pace, and they're flying down the ice. And we had a friend at Sam's game over the weekend who was like, "Oh my gosh, this looks like so much fun." To skate that fast. I can't believe, how amazing, all of these
And
kids skate.
violent. I mean,
Um,
when we got introduced to high school hockey, the sheer violence because they get hit, that's what got me. I mean, it was exciting, but there was a point,
yeah.
it's like,
Well, you get used to hearing the puck slam into the boards and the kids slam into the boards, and I think at first when you first hear those things, you kinda jump or it
absolutely.
startles you, but then you kinda get used to it, and that puck slamming the glass right above your head, you don't even flinch anymore.
I'll counter with
Um
this. You say you get used to it, and I agree, that's absolutely true, but however, I will say this, the contrast of going to our youngest son's,
Yeah,
or 12U games, and then turning around and going to Sam's games where I'm like, "Oh, man, he hit, that's a penalty. Oh, no, it's not a penalty. I'm back in
yeah.
hockey." So,
Well, yeah, that I think it was last year
uh,
or the year before I was at one of I'd gone to Sam's game and then I'd gone to Henry's game, like, the next day, and, Henry goes into the boards, he was what, 10, 11 at the time, and every parent in the stands was like, and I was like, "What?" Because I'm
you're used to
kinda
Sam's.
used because I had been at a high school game the day before where they're slamming into the boards every second. And it didn't phase me like it did some of the parents who are not used to that yet. So I guess what I'm saying is you kind of grow into it and you kind of do get used to it at some point or on some level.
Right, right. So that's what we're gonna do on this podcast. We're gonna share stories of our own, but however, we're gonna open it up to anybody that listens to the show, and we're gonna have a Facebook page, and we'll have social media. We'll probably pop up on random pages as well. We're gonna look for your stories and what are your experiences. Even if you have a full, again, we don't have a background in hockey. That's kind of how we approach this podcast, but we want everyone's stories your youth hockey stories. Now, keep in mind, we want you to keep, you know, names anonymous. We don't want to disparage any coaches or any rinks or any goon players or players in general. But we want your stories. So once our page is set up on Facebook, it's a podcast. It's Pucked Up Parents Podcast. It's out there. We'll advertise it, and we also hope to invite you, some of the listeners, onto the show to share your experiences. Angela already has a list of possible
Yeah.
guests. I think we have former NHL players.
Yeah, we've got some former NHL players, we've got some other, hockey parents, we've
Oh
got
man,
some parents.
you may get introduction to the Hockey Bureau of Investigation
Yeah, exactly.
organization headed up by
Yeah. I
herself,
mean,
two Goonie friends.
right. We have to do all of our research on the teams that we're gonna play, and we dig into some things, so, I think we'll get there. But we do have the Facebook page set up. I've also got an Instagram page set up. It's pucked.up.parents, uh, on our Instagram, and, follow us, subscribe, share with your friends. We definitely wanna make it as interactive as possible, like we said, bring in some guests in, but if you wanna just write in your story, send us a message. We'll listen to it and try to incorporate it into some future episodes.
Yes, these podcasts are for you, the hockey parents, by hockey parents, by former naive hockey parents, to share your stories and share your trials, tribulations to help everyone, all of us parents, navigate the world of youth hockey. And it is a
Yeah.
wild ride.
We definitely don't know everything, but we've been around long enough that we feel like we can at least hold the conversation, and we can, help guide some others along the way, and maybe some of the rink rats out there, some people who've been around hockey their entire lives, will take some amusement in our, fumbling and stumbling through the hockey world and some of the stories that we tell. But, if you're a confused, coffee-fueled hockey parent, you've found the right spot.
Right. So, with that said, I think we'll close this episode out. If you agree, thanks, Angela.
Yeah.
I'll see you inside the house, and just remember, everybody, keep your stick on the ice.
Follow, subscribe, and share.
Till next time.
Bye.
Up before dawn, can't feel my face. Coffee spilling all over the place. Forgot the sticks, we're turning around. Another weekend and some hockey.